Concussion week 3. Let's go. Audiobooks. Hi everyone, I'm Nox. Welcome to my channel, and today we are talking about audiobooks. Like I said in the intro, I've had a concussion for about 3 weeks now, and audiobooks are the only way that I am able to read right now. Even with a concussion though, some stories are just better read as audio. I especially love the lyrical style books or an author read audiobook. Also, disclaimer, this channel is not a place for the audiobooks aren't reading crowd, okay? I'm disabled. I get concussions a lot due to a seizure disorder. Audiobooks are currently the only way that I am able to read with that concussion. But even besides that, my partner is also disabled, and audiobooks are the only way that they are able to read ever. So, audiobooks are reading, they're valid, whatever speed you listen to them at. If you don't agree, there's the metaphorical door. Bye. Now that that's out of the way though, I want to talk about 3 amazing audiobooks that you should pick up, starting with the one that inspired this and is in the title, The River Has Roots by Amal El-Mutar. This book is musical in literally every sense of the word. It follows 2 sisters who sing to the willow trees. The audiobook literally has music throughout the background of the story. The sisters have a bond that can never be separated, and I'm not going to spoil it if you haven't read the synopsis, but music is a key part in what is going to keep them connected through the main challenge that presents in this book. It's a short fantasy novella that feels oddly reminiscent of The Corpse Bride in a couple of scenes, and that's why I don't want to say anything else, because I don't want to spoil things. But the author is part of the music, I believe, in the story, as is her sister, and the narrator actually sings the songs when the sisters are singing. I will say though, I do recommend having a text copy of the book, either print or ebook, to go with this audiobook, in case you feel like you might miss something through the singing. But I can't recommend this audiobook enough. It is absolutely beautiful. I adored it. 5 stars for the book and 5 stars for the audio. I would definitely listen to another audiobook like this again. The next book is What Happened to Ruthie Ramirez by Claire Jimenez. And okay, while I do recommend the audiobook, honestly just get this book any way you can, because it is so good and I do not see enough people talking about it. One critique I've heard people mention is that there's too much cursing, but I didn't feel that way, so that's that. But I listened to it as an audiobook, and the ending hits hard, and I truly believe that it hits that hard because you're listening to an audiobook. I don't want to spoil the ending again, but I had to rewind it at one part because I literally shrieked and was like, did I just read what I just read? I went back and I did, and again, because of the audiobook format, it made it that much more impactful. So I highly, 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 highly recommend that you listen to the audiobook. What Happened to Ruthie Ramirez is about what happened to Ruthie Ramirez, but it doesn't actually focus on Ruthie. It focuses on her 2 sisters, Jessica and Nina, and her mother, Dolores, years after Ruthie's disappearance. Jessica is watching a reality TV show one night, and she swears that one of the contestants is actually Ruthie, because she has the same birthmark under her left eye and her hair is just dyed red. And she slowly convinces her sister, and then their mother finds out. But it's really about the paths that their lives have taken and how Ruthie's disappearance has affected each of the women in her family. I love multi-generational stories, and so this one is mother and daughters. I love mystery. What Happened to Ruthie Ramirez? The book itself is not that much of a mystery. What happened to Ruthie, we don't know. We think we do. And I love a story that focuses on familial relationships, because Ruthie's disappearance really has affected the relationships between Jessica and Nina, Jessica and Dolores, Nina and Dolores, and then also the individual and also the individual relationships that they each had with Ruthie and what they felt about her disappearance. I cannot recommend this book enough. It was one of my favorite books last year. You should definitely read it. And the third one is actually a series, which is The Investigations of Masa and Platy by Malka Older. I have only read this book series as an audiobook, and honestly, I think that is the best way to read them. The world building is heavy. There's a lot of it, especially in the first book, and it's kind of thrown at you. But I think that it does better as an audiobook because I personally would have gotten overwhelmed with a large block of text explaining everything. And there's a lot to explain because this is a cozy space opera set on a colony on Jupiter. And our main narrator is a scholar, so she talks like a scholar. Because of all of that information, I would not recommend reading this book at 2x speed. I absolutely would not recommend that. The premise of the series is that investigator Masa calls on scholar Platy, who she was in a relationship with when they were in university, to help her solve a disappearance in the first book. And then the second and third book, Masa keeps calling on Platy for help. Okay, that was a bad description of the third book. You'll see. Read the series. You'll see. Like I said, it's a space opera set on a colony on Jupiter and its surrounding moons. And it's surprisingly cozy for a series that has to do with disappearances and murders, but also a deep yearning for the Earth that they left behind, that they absolutely devastated the ecosystem of. Platy is a scholar of those Earth ecosystems and how to carefully recreate them so that someday maybe they can go back to Earth. Also, the third book ends with one of my favorite tropes, and I cannot share what that trope is because it kind of spoils the entire series, I feel like, so you just have to definitely check this book out. I've absolutely adored these audiobooks, and I hope that you do too. If you want to learn more about the kind of books that I like to read, next Saturday I'm going to be doing the Get to Know My Taste book tag, so you should definitely tune back in. But for now, please leave me recommendations for books down in the comments. It's not that I need more books to read, but I do also always need more books to read, so please share some with me, especially if you enjoy the audiobook of them. But for now, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I will see you all next Saturday, and may the spoons be with you. Bye!